coming up.
Pick out a very feed-efficient Braunvieh bull, and when you pair it with a feed-efficient female, you'll really cover some ground quickly, and it'll pay off for you in the feed yard.
This is the most valuable tool they have to move their herd forward.
There'll be a lot of dollars involved in the feed yard industry.
Learn how Braunvieh breeders are selecting for feed efficiency, next on The American Rancher. Hello, and welcome to The American Rancher. I'm Pam Minick. One of the most elusive selection traits in beef animals is measured feed efficiency. Now, after years of residual feed intake, or RFI data collection, the Braunvieh Association of America has cracked the code on true efficiency. The Braunvieh Association of America now offers a multi-breed RFI EPD for the entire industry to use in selecting for efficiency when using Braunvieh cattle. Their quest began in 2007 at the start of the ongoing Braunvieh National Bull Test. Before then, only entire pens of animals were measured for feed to gain. The National Bull Test uses technology that accurately measures an individual animal's daily feed intake and compares it to daily gain. And the Braunvieh Association's dedication to that quest has paid off, not just for the Braunvieh breed, but for the beef industry as a whole.
Producers measure residual feed intake so they know how efficient the gain on an animal is. All animals eat and all animals gain. What residual feed intake does, it puts those two in relationship so you know how efficient their gain is. To calculate residual feed intake, first you have to collect the dry matter intake, and then you compare that to the amount of gain an animal has during that same period.
That has been our problem when we started. We began to test our cattle in contemporary groups, and we were testing pens of cattle, identifying the one that gained the most, but we didn't know how much they ate.
So 20 years ago, when we started measuring a lot more things from ultrasound to weights, we always asked, wouldn't it be cool if we could just measure how much an animal eats?
RFI contemporary individual animal calculations are measured on GrowSafe equipment and technology. Their in-pen weighing system, GrowSafe Beef, collects daily data on individual animals and generates highly accurate average daily gain calculations. GrowSafe Beef provides very accurate weights, which traditional chute weights cannot account for because of variations in behavior patterns that lead to rumen fill and water consumption variables.
The bunks themselves that they eat out of have scales in them, and the animals have an EID tag in their ear, and it identifies what animal's eating out of that particular bunk.
There's two pieces of equipment that are utilized. One is the feed intake node. So every day that an animal's on trial, the animal comes to feed and the daily feed disappearance for that animal is measured. The other piece of equipment is the GrowSafe Beef technology, which is an in-pen weighing system that surrounds the water trough. So every time an animal comes to drink, it steps up on a partial body scale, and its weight is caught multiple times per day and averaged out to give it a daily weight assignment, which is converted then to a full body weight. When we can compare daily intake with daily weight, our data gets very robust. When you can compare head to head what an animal eats and what it gains every day over the period of a trial, this is very robust data. This is better data than we've ever been able to collect before in measuring gain and efficiency. This data is collected by a third party, and it's monitored by GrowSafe, which is a third party also to the producer and to the test location. So there's a lot of checks in place to make sure that this data is highly accurate and very responsible.
After the data is collected, it must be interpreted.
We have a contemporary group of 32 bulls, 32 Braunvieh bulls. Based on their age, based on their breed, based on their weight, we come up with an expected intake for that contemporary group, whether it's 32 pounds, 35 pounds, 37 pounds. So we expect that contemporary group to eat an average 35 pounds. And so you have bulls that eat above that and below that. If they eat below that expected average, they will get a negative RFI number, which is what we're going for.
It's like a golf game. A lower score is better. Less feed consumed is better.
With GrowSafe, producers have the information they need to genetically select for RFI on an individual basis. Clearly, RFI calculations on individual beef animals can be leveraged in a breeding program to generate significant cost savings.
Studies on residual feed intake show that when you select for a lower RFI number on an animal, you can lower feed costs through the lifetime of that animal.
We made a decision, having studied the GrowSafe system for a number of years, that it would be one of the best investments of our money and resources and time. We test every animal on the place, both heifers and bulls. Studies indicate that you might be able to run as many as 20 to 25% more cows on the same pasture land or increase your stocking rate if you select for high feed efficient animals over about 3 generations, retaining those heifers.
We have a conversion window in our industry that runs from just short of 5 pounds to just over 10 pounds of feed, dry matter intake per pound of gain. Well, if your average is 7.5, which is kind of about where our industry is, 7.5 to 8 pounds of dry matter intake per pound of gain, well, if we can be at 5 versus 10, well, obviously, the cost of gain is half.
So basically, if you're looking at a spread of as much as 5 pounds of feed per pound of gain difference between the low RFI and the high RFI numbers, and you extrapolate that over 700 pounds, taking a feeder calf from $550 to $1250, and you factor in $150 to $200 per ton for your feed, the savings are dramatic.
Right now, sustainability is a huge buzzword. And when it comes right down to it, when you select for efficiency, there's nothing you can do that applies more to being a sustainable producer than selecting for efficiency. And where this is going, it's amazing. If a producer selects for efficiency using the RFI efficiency EPD, this is the most valuable tool they have to move their herd forward. Because if you start looking at all the claims that we make in marketing beef, we've looked at sourced claims, we've looked at antibiotic-free claims, we've looked at welfare claims. I really think that the consumer out there right now, what they're looking for now is they want to feel good about the beef that they eat. So if they know that it's been responsible for the environment, that it was beef that was raised on less feed with a softer carbon footprint, I really think that that's going to be a marketing tool for the future. And when you look at future applications for selection for efficiency, that's what you're positioning for.
Now, with years of GrowSafe data collected, expected progeny differences, or EPDs, have been established using these records. GrowSafe RFI data is provided to a third-party genetic provider who calculates a multi-breed RFI EPD.
So every time an EPD run is completed for residual feed intake, all of the producer's data paired with pedigree information is submitted to a third-party genetic provider with the EPDs being calculated. Currently, GrowSafe has the largest efficiency database in the world, which drive the calculations for this RFI EPD. I like to say it's 120,000 on the way to 1.2 million because every day we generate more and more records. Volume of data across years of tests, across different test locations, across different breeds, makes this the most viable efficiency EPD that producers have to utilize in selecting for efficiency.
The Braunvieh Association of America recognizes the significance of an EPD that predicts feed efficiency. Through an industry-leading agreement with GrowSafe, Braunvieh is proud to be the first breed association to publish a multi-breed RFI EPD.
So we're kind of out ahead of our competition as far as that goes. And, you know, modern ranching's moving that way anyhow with carbon footprint and everything that we hear on the news today. You know, you got more efficient animals, they're fleshing easier.
The GrowSafe Feed Efficiency Database contains 150,000 pedigree records, including 22 breeds, and these numbers grow every day. The Braunvieh Association of America website posts RFI EPDs for tested Braunvieh animals and their relationships to other pedigrees. Coming up.
So Braunvieh's got 10 plus years of history to drive their efficiency database.
Learn how a 12-year-old Braunvieh test program is setting new standards in profitability. Next on The American Rancher. Welcome back to The American Rancher. It's been a long journey for the Braunvieh Association of America to publish their RFI EPDs. The National Braunvieh Bull Test and its associated bull sale is a major component of that journey.
In 2007, the Braunvieh Association initiated a National Braunvieh Bull Test program. These tests were done only at test stations, which had the GrowSafe technology, so they could measure for daily feed intake and weight gain to calculate an RFI calculation. So Braunvieh's got 10 plus years of history on well over 1,000 animals of individual records to drive their efficiency database, which is then plugged into the multi-breed database of all of the animals tested through GrowSafe, so that you can compare cattle for RFI from location to location and year to year and breed to breed.
The targeting and application of EPDs and associated genetic markers are foundational for generating profit in commercial cattle operations.
EPDs are a good tool to begin to shape your herd. If you've got areas in your herd you want to improve in, maybe you want to do carcass traits, maybe you want to go for a higher efficiency. Whatever you're looking for, the EPD is something that can help you shape and mold your herd. It is one of the tools that you can use. You don't get EPDs with non-registered cattle.
The Braunvieh breed has been testing for efficiency for 10 plus years on GrowSafe equipment and technology. Even prior to that, Braunvieh knew that they had some efficiency values that are inherent to their breed through testing at the Great Western Beef Expo, where they had a lot of success in identifying different sire lines that were efficient for feed to gain.
Since the 1990s, events such as the Great Western Beef Expo have demonstrated that Braunvieh is already a feed-efficient breed. The National Braunvieh Bull Test pushes that trait to the next level. Conducted at 8 GrowSafe testing locations, the Braunvieh Bull Test has calculated RFI data on well over 1,000 Braunvieh animals represented by 50 different breeders in 20 states and counting. Now that's a robust sample, and the benefits for Braunvieh breeders are evident.
Anytime you have more efficient animals and you're testing for feed intake and residual feed intake, it's going to affect your bottom line in a positive manner. Whoever you are, it's going to help what you're doing. They're more efficient, they're easier fleshing, and it's money in your pocket.
We got involved with GrowSafe systems and went to Midland Bull Test in Columbus, Montana. Fed up there for, I think, a period of 5 years. Since we fed in 5 different GrowSafe systems in 5 different states. Right now we're feeding in Tucumcari, New Mexico, with New Mexico State University. We really enjoy feeding there, and I've enjoyed feeding with all of the GrowSafe systems. We just learned so much.
It's been about 2 or 3 years ago that I used RFI for the first time. I was having a hard time marketing bulls, So the decision was made to send some to a test facility that used GrowSafe, and by doing that, we're able to add value to our animals and also legitimize them at that point and ask premium dollar for the end product.
One GrowSafe test facility is the Genetic Development Center outside of Navasota, Texas.
It's very hard to compare RFI between breeds. You can't compare the way a Braunvieh bull grows to a Santa Gertrudis or Beefmaster bull. They mature different. They lay fat down different. They lay lean muscle tissue down different. But what you can compare is feed conversion and growth. And we're constantly having high average daily gain Braunvieh bulls, good feed conversions. What we collect here is raw data. It is what it is. It's their average daily gain, it's their feed conversion, it's their RFI, it's their ribeye area, it's their IMF. That stuff doesn't change. It is what it is. We do everything at the same time on all the cattle. They're all treated the same way. So everyone has an equal opportunity to excel. And the system's very accurate. We will record what any one bull eats in a 24-hour period down to the gram. So we target our bulls at 3.5 pounds of weight per day, and we target our females at 2.5 pounds of weight per day. And they've been hitting that spot on.
Even though they were raised in widely diverse cattle country, Braunvieh bulls at the test facility demonstrate consistency and efficiency and daily gains, even when being tested in South Texas.
We've got Braunvieh bulls from West Virginia, Kansas, Texas Panhandle, Nebraska. So they're coming from all over the country. They do well in the summer, and they do well in the fall. They seem to be pretty consistent on their gains from a hot summer to a cold fall. A lot of people come in here looking at different breeds. Yes, sir. And they always seem to come by the Braunvieh pen and stop and take a closer look at them. Even walk out of the pen, and we've sold Braunvieh bulls to people that have never had them. They just catch their eye. They start looking at the depth and the bone and the muscle and the frame on them. At the end of the day, it's all about pounds, and it's a breed that can give that to you. And we work these cattle so much. We're in the pen with them every day. We're weighing them, we're scanning them, we're fertility testing. And it's nice to be able to go through a pen of bulls and just ride around them and bump into them, scratch them on the back. They just kind of turn around and look at you. So, and that's a big selling point here. People want to buy, good temperamented bull.
Next,
There'll be a lot of dollars involved in the feed yard industry.
the impact of RFI EPDs will be felt industry-wide. That's coming up after the break. You're watching The American Rancher.
Four Kings Ranch in scenic eastern Oklahoma offers full-blood, purebred, percentage, and F1 cattle. So if you are in the market for a new bull or replacement heifer, stop by or email Colby King. Rock Creek Braunvieh, located in southeastern Nebraska, has been breeding black and polled Braunvieh since 1985. Call Kendall Schlake for your commercial bull needs.
J. Bar Braunvieh believes efficiency and fertility are the most important traits in the herd. With their good partner Circle C Ranch, J. Bar Braunvieh is now offering performance-tested bulls in volume supply ready for service. These are range-ready, hard-footed bulls that work for ranchers in big, rough country. Outstanding females are also now available. J. Bar Braunvieh provides cattle that work for you.
Looking for Braunvieh bull efficiency and performance? Consider Diamond H Braunvieh. All Diamond H bulls sold are fully tested for RFI, average daily gain, and ultrasounded for ribeye, marbling, and back fat. The data we get from testing not only allows us to price our bulls fairly, but to manage our females and find the next great Diamond H sire to move our performance-based program forward. So if you're looking for a bull to increase your wean weights, put more efficiency and milk and bone in your herd, call us or log on to braunviehbull.com. Join WW Cattle Friday, March 29th at 7 p.m. at the Athens Stockyard in Athens, Tennessee. This year, we're offering 50 RFI performance-tested Braunvieh, Angus, and Sem-Angus bulls, 2 full-blood Braunvieh heifers straight out of our ET program, and 30 Braunvieh-influenced commercial heifers from JH Cattle, including 10 first calf pairs and 20 bred commercial heifers. The sale will be broadcast on DV Auction. Call for more information or click cattleindemand.com.
Welcome back to The American Rancher. The Braunvieh Association of America is the first breed association to publish a multi-breed residual feed intake EPD. The RFI EPD is only one trait, but its significance in predicting feed efficiency for the entire beef industry is substantial.
It adds the most value the fastest to what you're doing. And it does that by, again, taking out the subjective opinions of what you're producing. You have hard facts to back up what you're trying to sell.
If we can reduce our cost of gain, the amount of feed that it takes to produce beef, there'll be a lot of dollars involved in the feed yard industry.
So, you know, if they're efficient here eating out of the bunk, they're going to be efficient out in the pasture, and it'll pay off for you in the feed yard.
I use RFI as a selection tool as just one component of the whole process. When I'm culling and selecting animals, it's not the do-all, end-all of traits. You still need animals that are good on their average daily gains. They test well with ultrasound data and DNA. So it's just one part of the whole puzzle.
So if you push and breed for feed-efficient cattle that do more with less feed, you will not fall behind on any other growth traits that you're pushing for. You know, ribeye area, marbling, growth, you know, scrotal size. You know, it's an individual selective trait, and you can really cover some ground quickly when we'll pick out a very feed-efficient RFI Braunvieh bull with other selective traits that are great. Feed conversion, growth, carcass qualities, fertility, and when you pair it with a feed-efficient female, you'll really cover some ground quickly.
At the end of the day, Braunvieh cattle perform, and the RFI EPD will be a powerful genetic selection tool that further enhances this powerful breed.
When I think of these Braunvieh bulls that are behind me now, is one word, and that's power. The breed has done a good job of moderating the size of these bulls to when they're mature, they're not going to be too big for your cattle, but they do bring power to the equation. So if I'm sitting down with a commercial cattleman that's thinking about using Braunvieh bulls, they can get a Braunvieh bull of pretty much a traditional color. They can get a homozygous black bull that will always throw black calves. They can get a bull that will throw a moderate birth weight. When that calf hits the ground, it's going to grow very, very fast and ultimately end up looking like the cattle that are behind me right now. So they bring power to the equation, which I think is a detriment to some of the other breeds that haven't been able to really focus on that like they should, but these cattle have.
The Braunvieh Association of America's leadership in establishing multi-breed RFI EPDs is a milestone for the entire beef industry. The significance of predicting for feed efficiency cannot be overstated. And with the Braunvieh breed's history of excellent feed efficiency, the rollout of the RFI EPD will elevate the breed's reputation to a new height. That's all the time we have today. Thanks for joining us. To learn more about us, log on to our website, theamericanrancher.com, or connect with us on Facebook. I'm Pam Minick. For our entire American Rancher team, thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
That was superior.